Well, hello, and welcome to Riffs on Riffs, where I am stoked today to.
Ooh,
I
stoked.
am, right? Because I'm back to being friends with my brother Toby. Feel like this is going to be another good session, but I have a hunch it's going to take on a bit of a somber note, and so I'm a little worried about where that's all going to go. But what are your thoughts, Toby? What do you think we're doing today? How you
Um,
feeling coming in?
well, the feeling that I have is we're going to review this song by the artist Sombr. The track is called Back to Friends. Um, very interesting sound that this guy has. Very interesting sound. At least to me, it's gives me a retro feel, but it instantly hooked me. I would say it's like as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I understand why. I understand why people like it. 'Cause it sounds like something else. I just can't quite grasp what that something else is. Um, those are kind of like my initial thoughts of it, and definitely lyrically, I actually liked it too. And I know we'll get all into that, but I'm curious, was this just a track that you saw on the charts and was like, hey, we got to talk about it? Or what was your.
Well, that is what we do here. We discover the things, we talk about what other people are listening to and why they became popular. And I mean, this is a dude who just blew up
Hmm.
through the ticks and the talks. And I mean, he's only 20, so that's it's pretty meteoric. That's the word. Rise quickly, but in his very young years, he's been at it for a little bit. It's interesting because you said a bunch of things, but you didn't tell me how you feel.
Hmm.
So, what do the songs make you feel anything, or is it just sort of oh, this feels familiar?
No, it definitely made me retro, right? It made me feel like I remember like first crushes or like
Mm.
end of high school, beginning of college crushes. That's kind of the feel and the vibe that it gave me. Um, just the whole dynamic of having to go back to trying to go back to being friends with someone that you've been intimate with. And it's like that doesn't work.
Has
It's
that
not
ever has that ever worked, Toby?
well, I mean, look,
Ever in the history of things?
I, it, no, not to my knowledge, not if you really care about that person. And
Yeah.
it typically somebody's going to have some feelings. There's going to
Somebody
be
always catches feelings.
someone's always catching feelings. So it's either going to be him or her or whatever. Somebody is feeling the other one more. So the person who wants, hey, let's just go back to being friends, that person is probably fine. That person's fine in general. All right. They're the one who brought it up. The other person is like, you know, okay, they don't want it, but they'll say okay just because they can at least be somewhat close to that person, and that's kind of that's the vibe that I got from this. And it seems like it's pretty, you know, it's a pretty reoccurring theme throughout the
The
entire
whole
album.
album, yeah.
The whole album is like that, undressed and, all the other ones. This is like, okay, brother. Okay,
Well,
what was her name? That's my question for him. What's her name, dude? What's her name? I feel like we're men of a certain age, and I feel like at this point, okay, like I look at this dude, it's like, okay, he's like our nephew. Like, who hurt you?
sure,
Your
yeah.
uncles,
Who
do your
hurt you?
uncles have to step in to
Bring it
talk
in.
to
Let's chat.
her?
Been there, buddy.
Sit
We can
down, man.
we can yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Well,
We
I do
gotta.
think it's definitely a sign of age and maturity. I'm not calling him immature at all. I'm just saying he's only 20 years old. And when you're 20, you can't go back to being friends. You're just not capable of that. I'm always impressed by as you age in life and relationships don't work, you get married, you get divorced, you have kids. Um I'm always fascinated and respectful of people who can kind of blend those other families for the sake of the kids. And it's like, oh, we're going to have, the ex-wife or husband over for dinner, or we're going to have a shared holiday function. Um, I don't know. I kind of have mixed thoughts on that, but I think
Mm,
if done well, it's interesting how how some people can make that work. And if you, again, if you're doing it for the benefit of the kids and the family unit, that makes all the sense in the world.
For sure.
But it also, who's that comedian? I think either you sent me the clip or whatever, where he's talking about his phone and how women put put what they call you as your name in their phone. And
Yeah.
he's talking about how he has a crush on this girl, and she can't find her phone, and so he finds the phone, and it's in the couch cushions, and he's like, I'm just gonna call her and see what my name comes up as, and it's nope.
Right. Right.
And it's like, no, you're never going to be
No,
anything more than
you're not.
friends. It's
No, you're
best that you
done.
know that now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That moment saved you a lot of trouble. It saved you a lot of time and everything else. We can just move on to what this relationship will be, and it will just be friends. It will just be cordial, and that's great. Save the money that you were going to buy. That the money that you were going to spend on drinks for her. You can save
You can
that.
drown your sorrows with that
Yeah,
now.
you do something else. Keep swiping on that app and find somebody else, because this one right here is not it.
Nope.
No, if it's nope, you already know, not even your name, just
Yeah.
nope.
Just
Oh,
nope.
hell no. Hell no.
That's a rough.
It's
That's
it's
a rough
rough.
go right there.
But you know what though? It's rough, but I get it. I think that the quickest thing, when I was dating, I would say the quickest way for me to get over someone is to realize that, just to hear it from them, that they don't want to be with me. That's the
Yeah.
quickest thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you saying you don't? Got it. Done deal. Done deal.
What else do you need to know?
We don't need to know anything else.
I'm not.
We're
I'm not
straight.
chasing it. Once you've
Oh,
said I'm not interested,
I'm not interested. I don't
good.
see you
Now I'm
that
not
way.
either.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. That was amazing. I don't feel those feelings. I just walked
It's
through
weird.
that door. I totally forgot what I was going to say to you. I totally forgot what I was going to say to you. What's your name? What is your name? Why am I here? Is somebody roofied me? Things just change. It's amazing what happens. But
I think the other fascinating thing about putting the word nope in your phone is it's almost a reminder to yourself,
mm,
because it sort of indicates that she's like maybe thinking about catching some feelings, and every time she's like, nope. And so you wonder, like, what's the reason there? But
yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's, you know what? I know you will understand this. I know you will get it. Remember, we were talking about networking. We're going to networking events, and you meet a whole bunch of people. You come home, and you've got all these business cards, right? All these business cards, and you're just trying to remember the
Yeah.
conversation you had. Some of the conversations were really good, and the other ones were like, nope. Not doing business with that guy. Like, there's absolutely there is no way. And instead of all of that, what I end up doing now is, meet somebody, get the business card, and I will go write some notes on the back of that
Mhm.
business card as soon as I can. Like, this dude is about this, he's about that. I think there's an opportunity in here. Kids play soccer, my kids run track, they play tennis, same as, da, da, da. Okay, cool. And other people, again, nope.
Nope.
Not gonna work. Potential narcissist. The
Oh,
answer is
a
no.
dude that just word vomited for 7 minutes straight without taking a
Oh,
breath, and then
oh,
walked away without asking anything else. Yeah.
oh, yeah. Dude showed me his cars for his Beamer, for his BMW, like 8 times. Like, no, this is
Nope.
not. No. The answer
No.
is no. The answer
All
is
right, so
no.
let's circle back in the episode with some advice to our dear nephew here. But
Sure.
let's get a little bit into his history. So, real name, which is where he came up with this somber moniker. Real name is Shane Michael Booz,
Hmm.
and initials SMB. And apparently, he was in his fields at the time when he started to blow up or make music, and was like, "All right, I'll just use those initials and go with somber." Um, Man, Toby, just like July 5th, 2005 is when this dude was born. Just just a babe, just a
Just a
pup.
babe, dude. Just a babe. So young.
But ended up, so, and this is part of the you can't win in the internet or in the world anymore. So his parents are successful. Both of them in their own right are, successful humans. And of course, the proclamations of, oh, well, you're just leveraging your parents' connections, and that's why you're famous, and that's why you got a record deal, and whatever. And I think he's got the only response you can have, which is, I can't, go listen to my stuff. Like, I wrote it myself. I made it myself. This is what I really love. So, if you choose to believe that, so be it, but maybe do some homework first. But that did afford him some privileges. Like, he went to, what is it, Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts.
Hmm.
That's
Okay. It's a
yeah.
mouthful.
But I think Jennifer Aniston went there, and Timothy Chalamet, and I think Nicki Minaj went there. So there's some people that have found fame and fortune coming out of there. And he trained in kind of Italian and German arias. So I think that's fascinating because that means he can sing, and
Hmm.
he definitely is singing well on this album. But it's so overproduced vocally. Um,
I knew you were going to have a problem with that. I knew I knew you were going to have an issue with it. So are you like the distortion? Okay, overproduces is definitely the better way to describe it. Now, I don't
but
mind it.
you don't.
Mm-mm,
Okay.
I don't mind it. I think stylistically, I think that's what the music calls for. I think stylistically, I think it's fine. Now, I will say this. I watched him. I was very curious with all that production that went in on the vocals. If we're talking about this song, specifically, just
Yeah.
almost all of his songs are
Yeah.
in that same vein. He uses a set of vocal processing that just makes his voice seem like just right before what's distortion, right? It's like
Yeah. I
just
think he's
like a
just
hair.
coming in super hot in the console. So it's that, like, it's like, and then it's just so reverb drenched. I mean, the mixes are great. Tony Berg is, great producer, has been around forever. You'll appreciate this. He was a session musician and, it's done a lot of production, including for Taylor and other artists. So I'm glad that he got, paired up with a really great industry veteran, producer, because I think it shows. I just think some of the choices are like, wow, that's interesting. Why? Why? Because he can sing. I like the idea of, to your point, it does fit the vibe of a lot of the tracks. But to me, it's always interesting when it comes in for a purpose, and then you've got some difference with maybe some far less processed vocals to maybe more up close and personal and intimate. Um, so it's just interesting that it's just saturated throughout the whole album, and I think it kind of muddies up what I think could be some really interesting vocal performances in some places.
Yes, understood. I understand your point, but I guess where I'm coming from with him after listening to so I listened to the interview that he had, and I also watched him sing live on Jimmy Fallon, watched a video of that. And so on the Jimmy Fallon, I was wondering, like, okay, well, how are they gonna do that? How are they gonna do this? And he sounded good. He sounded fine. It wasn't overproduced. It was really like his authentic voice, which I was really happy to hear, especially on a live performance. You mentioned that you know he can sing. I will say that his voice is very young. Obviously, he's young.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know if he thinks he can sing
Mm,
that well.
mm.
This, like his like when you listen to his process of stuff is fascinating the way that this dude writes, at least in my opinion. And it's not really any different from other artists. I mean, it's not groundbreaking. Other artists do stuff in a similar way, but um, it was just, I'm always curious about people's processes. And he starts with the drums. He will freestyle, like kind of find a chord or two, then will scat out
Mm-hmm.
vowels that kind of go with that, and then figure out what that line is, what the first line is. And once he figures out that first line, that's where the song is going to go. So he's like just kind of come in like blank slate. That's how he works. And if he hates it, he will throw everything away and start over and just does that. And so the first song that the first song that hit was Caroline,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And, blew up. I don't know if it was like, was it 200,000 overnight that just kind of like liked it? Something like, no, that's not right.
No, I'm just this is that phenomenon is fascinating to
Hmm.
me. Like, the ability for just things in general on TikTok to just go from 0 to wake up in the morning and you've got a quarter billion or yeah,
Yeah.
like, what or quarter million?
Quarter million. Right.
How what happens? I mean, I know it's the algorithms and all the things, but I don't know. I just am curious. Like, I don't think you and we could write some really amazing songs, put it out on the TikToks. Is it just a crapshoot? That's I
Well, I think yes and no. I mean, if it's a good vibe, it's a good vibe. One thing about this kid, I mean, anybody wants to call him a nepo baby. I mean, just calm
stop.
down. I mean, the 200,000 that he got, that had nothing to do with that. People just liked it. They didn't know who this dude was at all. They have no idea who this cat was.
People don't
And it
care
took
who your
him.
parents are
If you
if the
got
song
skills, you got
sucks,
skills.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
if you got it, you got it. What are we
yeah.
talking about? Um,
Can I just pause you there too? Because I think the whole thing is absurd. What do we want to do as parents? We want to be successful to provide stability and whatever for our kids. And so if we manage to make that work, then hopefully, like, that's the whole reason we're here is to make the world a better place. And we start by doing it within our inner circle and our immediate family. And I don't know, it also stands to reason that if you've got two parents who are successful and, raised you well and whatever, that maybe you also have some innate skills that you can bring to bear. And of course, I don't want to just the ability to be afforded opportunity that you wouldn't be necessarily just financially or from a connection standpoint is huge. But
what?
also, what are you
Mm,
supposed to do?
I know.
Not use those things?
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole reason your parents did that is to afford those opportunities. Like, that's all we can do is try to create opportunities for others. And if somebody is able to take advantage of those opportunities, I hope we can get better at celebrating that rather than being pissed off that somebody got I don't know. It's a weird space.
Well, it
That's a
is
no-win
weird.
situation.
It is weird. I think he handled it right. I think just like, hey, just listen to it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, there is a whole industry now that is fueled by hate masqueraded as criticism. I mean, it's the same
Ooh,
thing.
that's a good say that one again. That's a good one, Toby.
There's a whole industry that is fueled by hate masquerading as criticism. And it is very similar to medicine now that is it's treatments. These businesses, these companies, they make a lot of money based off the medicine that they give to the public, but they're not interested in the cure per se. They're just interested in continually keeping you on the subscription of treatment. People are addicted to this hate machine. And you don't have to like it. And if you don't like it, doesn't mean that you hate it. It just means that it's not for you. And that's okay. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. But we have it happens in sports. It happens with political figures all the time. There is no nuance. I feel like it's either 0 or 10. Either you hate it or you love it. And it's like, wait a minute. What happened to the in between? What happened to that whole spectrum of, yeah, I can listen to it. It's cool. It's my jam, or whatever. I don't know.
And in all these places, it's the imposing of what I like or believe on everyone else. And that's where I think we've just gotten way out of control. It used to be like, not my thing. Okay. And now it's not my thing, and you suck for liking that thing, or how dare you believe that, or whatever. And it's like, whoa, like, why? And how is this affecting you in any way, shape, or form?
Hmm.
Whatever I choose to listen to or believe or whatever has no bearing on your life.
Hmm.
So why is it so important for you to feel like you need to kind of come in, rain down, and say, "You're not allowed to think or believe or do that thing." It's
Mhm.
I don't. I know this is just part of being human, but it just seems like we've way over indexed on
Oh,
that.
yeah. Well, and like I said, it's that, that energy. I mean, I'd have to study it and really look at the scientific terms, but I do believe that people get a little bit of a dopamine type hit, if you will,
Mm,
on hating. Like this is a very strong emotion. Either you love it or you hate it. It's a very strong emotion. And people are addicted to that. They need that. And this is very I think that is interesting. Um Even in relationships, right? The new relationship energy is almost overpowering for some because this new relation, and some people are constantly trying to chase
yeah,
that high.
yeah.
And that's why you have like serial daters, right? People that just date, that just constantly, and they don't realize that, hey, once you actually are in a relationship, it's different. It tapers off a little bit. And that's okay. That's normal,
Because you
right?
get depth and you get better connection and you get
Yes,
the real
yes,
stuff.
right. You
And then
know,
you can then your work now is how do we keep
how do you maintain?
that contact high,
Yeah.
right? Throughout the relationship. And it's a super interesting question of, is hate a dopamine hit? And I don't
Mm,
know the answer to
I
that,
don't either, but
but
yeah.
I think what it is, without a doubt, is it's a trigger of familiar. And if we think about our brains and how they light up with, if something is known and it's familiar to us, then our brain's like, "Ooh, that's a pretty light. Let's go light that up." And so there's an intentional effort. I mean, not to go into a whole neuroplasticity combo, but like you have to overwrite that. And so if you're just
Mhm.
in this constant loop of I'm getting triggered and I'm hating and that helps me, just kind of because it's familiar and I'm stuck in this cycle, then it's like, whoa, put a stick in the spoke, stop the spinning, and just say, wait a minute, this is actually feels awful. I'm going to step completely away from that, but I have to make sure that every time this gets spun up again, that I'm being intentional about saying, until my brain says, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't feel good. This isn't helping me. I don't know. I think
And
we all have work to do.
we most definitely have work to do. And l-
Ah, what's
speaking of
speaking of
individuals that
work to
have work
do?
to do, my dog in the background, who barks literally at everyone. Listen, I've never, I don't know if I said this on the show before or not, but Amazon they will tell you, hey, we're 5 stops away. We're,
Yeah,
we're 8 stops away.
yeah.
Now they're texting me like, hey, Toby, we're coming by. You know what to do with your dog. If your dog is, we just ask you kindly to remove your dog from the lawn if you can. Now my one dog has taught the other dog to bark at everyone and anything. So now
No.
Lincoln
Wait,
is
Lincoln
just,
barks too
oh my
now?
God, it's
Oh,
ridiculous.
no.
Yeah, and he was fine before. Lincoln was just
It was
nothing
such
but
a
a lover.
sweet, docile animal.
He's still sweet. He's still sweet. He's a sweet barker right
Oh,
now. Just
gosh.
like it's just a mess. But the one thing I was going to talk about that really made me respect this cat more. They did an interview, I think it was for like one of the CBS morning shows, an extended interview. It's like 34 minutes, 40 minutes or whatever. And they're sitting in Somber's bedroom where he actually made the songs. And it's
Really? Okay.
it's it's totally decked out.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the gentleman that is a, top tier producer to kind of, mix the songs, whatever. Every instrument, all of that he did by himself. Like he recorded all of that stuff. I mean, so anyone thinking that, okay, this is a Nepo baby, hey, Nepo babies don't have to do that. Okay.
Right.
They don't have to do
They
that.
got songwriters coming in
Yeah.
and session cats, and you just come in and you look pretty and you sing.
Right. Exactly. And so I'm like, he didn't have to do any of that, but he did. He did everything. And I give that dude a lot of props. I give him a lot of props for handling that. So I don't know. I
Well,
just
and it
think
just
it's
speaks to the passion too. Like you don't do that. You don't go down that path of learning these instruments, learning how to write songs if you don't care. If you're doing it for the money or you're doing it for the fame or the whatever, like it's not it's not a it's such a personal thing. And you can tell that in the songs that come out. Like it's 20-year-old dude going through relationships, figuring out women, all of that, right? Figuring out himself. this is an outlet, like it's always been an outlet for every artist. Like, oh, I've got some feels, I'm going to sit down, but the time that you put into learning that craft is not something you do if you don't have pure intentions.
Agreed. Agreed. And, in listening to him talk, man, he's such a 20-year-old. I mean, he's such a 20-year-old. I mean, he has all the insecurities.
Sure.
I mean, just looking at him, his stage presence just shows is he having a good time being on stage? Yes. Is he still awkward, in my opinion? Yes. I mean, his clothes, I mean, I think the stylist did a wonderful job just putting the clothes that match his awkwardness. They're a little bit bigger, right? So it
Hmm.
just so it's not a tight fit. And so it's just, I don't know, it's very smart, intentional, and I just think they packaged him well. And when you look at all the lyrics, like you said, he's just kind of trying to navigate his emotions, and he just says things in a different way that you have to appreciate. And again, men of a certain age, it's like, how many different love songs Joe, we've heard them all, dude. I'll give you this, I'll give you that. I lost my breath. I couldn't speak, right?
Yeah.
Lost track of time. All of that stuff. In it was one of his songs on the album, man, I forget which one it was now. I think it's quitting you, or I can't quit you, or I wish I could quit you, something to that effect.
Hmm.
Um, a- and he mentions like, hey, what if we could rewind time? What if I was late for this appointment where I met you? Another guy caught your eye, and you had this moment, and imagine if I wasn't even part of your history at all. That is driving this
Sliding
dude,
doors. Yeah.
right? Sliding door. That's exactly it. That's exactly what it made me think of. I'm like, and I've heard a lot of artists try to do like a sliding door type
Hmm.
thing, but I think he did it well. It wasn't the entire song. It was just the bridge that he was focusing on that. And I was like, okay, dude, I'm with you. Like, keep talking, keep talking, you know? Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm not, I don't dig every song, but
But it is an album you can just sit down and
in the
play.
background,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
vibing to it. I totally agree. It is a background music, just having some friends, some people come over and just let it play and let it go. Um, yeah, I'm digging it.
So you and I are both men of a certain age, and we're both 6'3", 6'4",
Yeah,
and I think he's 6'4". And
gotta be,
man,
gotta be 6'4".
he is built like I was at that age.
Same,
And
same. String bean.
I'll speak for me. The amount of insecurity I had about that was off the charts, and it was, you know, exacerbated by all the family members who would say, "You're so skinny," or "Oh, don't worry, someday you're going to fill out," and all the things, right? But tall is a privilege, no doubt. Except when you're on an airplane, then it sucks.
Amen. Unless you're on the exit row. But go ahead, continue, my
Right,
brother.
right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's also, I think, it's one of those hidden things that tall men um, kind of struggle with, because there's this there. I mean, I don't know, Tob. When I was back in the day, the I'm just going to call them smaller dudes who
Yep.
were on the wrestling team and whatever. They were ripped. They were huge. They'd go to the gym. Because they stopped growing at like 5'8", and then they just got
If that.
thick.
If that.
And
Right.
and so it always just felt with society kind of, all the machismo and testosterone, and you got to be big and strong and all of those things. It really just affects people who have not hit that point, or maybe never ever hit that point. So I don't know. Is this a similar experience for you as
Oh,
a
for
as a
sure.
tall dude?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Really didn't grow into my body, I would say, until really late for me, like 30s,
Yeah.
really, really, I was always underweight.
Mm.
And just, you know, but in this case, and I feel part of my affinity toward that body type, at least, me being that and not doing anything actively to change it. I think you have to be intentional if you're looking to
For
change your
sure.
body type. You got to be
Absolutely.
intentional
Yeah.
about it. But man, the whole idea of the starving artist, that whole,
Mm.
the idea of that, like I do anything for my craft. I mean, it's a real thing. And for this dude, after Caroline was done, he signed because the record labels are calling him and contacting him. He now feels like he's on the hook to get music done and to make another hit. This dude toiled for 2 years before this song came out. And I didn't know if this, in his mind, he didn't know if this was going to happen. And he had I guess a defining moment, the way he describes it in the interview and saying, you know what, instead of me worrying about what other people are going to like, and whatever, I'm just going to write music that feels good to me. He got to that point. And
Man, I wish I had done that when I was 20.
yeah,
I wish I could do that now.
dude, it's
It's
hard. But
so
when you just do it, you just go. And also the thing I would say is it's reps. It's reps. Um,
But do
um
you have a voice in the back of your head when you're writing that is constantly thinking about the audience or who's going to listen to it or how? And I don't know that it necessarily means I'm making stylistic choices, but I wonder sometimes if I just was able to shut that part of my brain off and literally just write a song that makes me happy, how
mhm,
different that might be than, yeah, I don't know. Do you have that voice or are you able to really just authentically say, I'm just writing this for me?
mhm. I I do have that voice. I hear it loudly when I'm writing singing songs.
Mm.
It is a whole lot quieter if I'm writing hip hop.
Really?
It's a whole
Why do you
lot
think that
quieter.
is?
Reps. I think it's
Mm.
reps. I think,
Interesting.
like I practice I practice hip hop like daily.
Yeah.
So I'm freestyling about whatever. If I'm pumping gas, grocery store, see interesting things. I'm always trying to bring things together, try to make it connect in some way, shape, or form, right? With singing is different. And because I'm don't practice that aspect. I practice the art of singing, but not the act of actually writing singing
Yeah.
songs. I mean, so this dude literally would write songs every day. And he finally got to the point where I called it the surrender moment, essentially, or it's just a vibe, dude. I'm just surrendering. And, it's going to happen.
Mm. Mm.
And I think when you get to that point, I think they just move easier. And why would you worry about the quality of the lyrics on a particular piece if you know you're going to write something the very next day? You can afford to just throw stuff away. For us,
It's interesting.
our
That's
time is
true.
so yeah, our time is like, no,
Oh
this has to
man.
work. This is it. I'm stuck on this line. This has to work. Instead of just saying, no, dude, don't worry about it. Just go. We're gonna make something better.
Whew.
It's a
That is
mindset
such a
of
freeing
it is.
because I actually did that, I don't know, a month ago. I went through and I was like, all right, I got 50 whatever, like song ideas. And I just went through and it was so freeing to take 25 of them and say, nah, there's nothing here and just delete. I
Yeah.
never have to open it again
Yep.
after hearing it again.
Nope.
But I love the idea of having the time to get up and just write something new today. Just write it. And I guarantee you that by the end of 3 months, you're going to have an album, a really
Mm.
good album.
Oh, for sure.
So let's just retire now, Tobe, and and we'll bank on TikTok fame, and that'll be our future.
It's I feel like there are artists or music or incidents or conversations that I was meant to hear and to listen. And like my new thing, like when we're in preparing for these podcasts, one of the things I really like to do is I think, yes, of course, I'm going to listen to your album. Of course, I'm going to listen to more than just the song that we're going to talk about. But I want to hear your voice. I want to hear what you have to say. What's your inspirations? Where your writing process? And that is, to me, I just want to connect with the artist. And I feel like the more I can do that, the better. And it kind of understanding where he's coming from. But as far as like the writing is concerned, I just think the reps is just I think it's absolutely necessary. Remember I was telling you about the Roots before, and the Roots, like for one album, these guys will record 100 songs. 100 songs, and then just pick 15.
Mhm.
Like, oh, 50, like, oh my God, that's crazy. Dude, that's insane. That's like having the combination line to Prince's Vault, right? With all the tracks that he hasn't done.
Yeah,
Stevie Wonder, probably the
yeah,
same thing. And
yeah.
these guys got tons of ideas, but I just like the way, again, it's the mindset, not a mindset of scarcity, but a
Mhm.
mindset of abundance that only comes with reps. And, as more reps, the confidence grows.
That's such an interesting thing because a lot of, part of my work is, or a big part of my work is around innovation and generating ideas. And people think that there's a finite limit that, oh, I got to hold on to this one because I don't know if I'm going to get another good idea. And it's like, no, the more ideas you generate, the more you're going to generate ideas. And you're probably going to get down the path and find out that one that you thought was amazing was just kind of meh. Because to your point, you got the reps in and you got to something bigger and better. We'll often do that. And here's a little, for those of you in the corporate world, if you're having a joint session where you're trying to generate ideas, people will often kind of stop once they hit a good idea. And they're like, it's so because you're
Mm,
excited and you're like, oh, I want to go. All right, let's flesh that out. Let's see what comes of it. And it's like, nope. Say, yep, that is a good idea, and immediately put it aside and forget about it and just keep going. And it's amazing how an hour later, people are like, oh, we did get to something better because we didn't stay fixated on this thing right here.
man, I have an analogy for that.
Ooh, lay it on me.
I feel that a lot of times when it comes to good ideas, we jump right into marrying that idea. But it's like a prearranged marriage.
Yes.
We just immediately jump to that instead of doing the proper steps, which would be courting the idea, getting
Ooh, I like you getting back to
engaged,
courting. I love this.
courting the
Let's go with
idea.
courting.
Let's go. Where's my
We'll,
chaperone?
we'll
All
roll
right,
up
so
in my carriage and be like, hello, hat in hand. I'm here to see Miss Emily.
milady,
Milady.
milady, mademoiselle, court the idea and other ideas. Then when you have looked at all the ideas, as you just mentioned, now we can have the choice of whether or not to get engaged
Wait,
to
are you
that
saying you're
idea.
doing multiple courting? Are we
Courting
multi-courting?
ideas. Let us get this straight. This is a family program. All right?
There's
Let's get
Emily and
this.
there's Mary Beth and there's
No,
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 okay.
sir. No, we're not doing that.
Because I think that gets you a reputation.
That will give you that. There's reps in a different way. That's reps in a different way. We're not talking about those kind of reps or bad reputation, a reputation killer. But courting the ideas, get engaged to one of the ideas, and then once you've decided to go forward after you've looked at everything else, okay, now we can marry the idea, and now we can build off that idea. I think that there's steps that have to be taken, and I feel like too many times, if you're operating from the mindset of scarcity, we're going right to being married to this idea. No, this is it.
Sure.
This is it. And it happens in business all the
All
time.
the time. All the time.
And it also happens in relationships too, where I feel like you just you can't see, especially in a relationship that you're not really happy with. You just can't see life without that person. Now things are going good, great, as you were, right? But if they're not, just thinking you can't find something else. You can't find something better. You can't find something can't relive that moment. And that is what I would say as an uncle to
Mm-hmm.
this dude right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the fact that you're getting all your emotions out. I love it. I do not want to see another album like this, though, from you. Or let's put it this way: your next album should not be this. And it doesn't mean that you've met the next girl and she's just what. No, we don't need to have
You're going
this.
to grow. You're going to have
You're gonna
different
grow,
experiences and write about
yeah.
those.
And it's gonna be fine. I just want him to continue writing about, as many different topics as he wants to, and as artistically as he wants to. So that song I mentioned earlier, I actually found it. It's called Crushing. Uh, And the lyrics, I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom of it here. Uh, he says, what if we outlived our lives and we left the house at different times and you bumped into another guy? He looks at you to catch your eye. He picks up your things and apologizes. And now he's picking you up at 9. And now we're living in alternate lives. That,
Sliding
that is
doors,
dope.
baby. Yeah.
That is so simple. But very vivid, paints the picture right there for you. And in the end, just the music just works really well, I feel, with this, just with the style that he's writing in right now. My one criticism for him is this, though. I love the way that he came up with the name Somber. I love
Sure.
that. I think
Yeah.
it's artistic. I am concerned about his future music.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've tagged yourself as that, and now what? Because look, if you look at
You can't be emo forever
you
unless you're like
can't,
Morrissey or something. But yeah.
right? And so that's my one thing. Names have a lot of power. It has
Mm, absolutely.
a lot, especially for artists as well. What they're going to title the song, what they're going to title the album, you know, all all of that is important. What's the name of this album? I barely know her.
Right. Which, yeah, that kind of double entendre there, right? Like, I've been dating this girl for a long time. I haven't figured her out. And, hookup culture. I barely know her, whatever. So,
Yeah, interesting, interesting. So, all right, musically, we
yeah.
talked about the voice.
Who's it
Tell me,
remind you of? I have some thoughts.
I don't know, man. I'll be honest. When I hear this,
Oh, I'm
the
okay.
first group that I thought of was Toad the Wet Sprocket. Like that
Wow.
was, and it's that and vocally it's not the same, but
Yeah.
it kind of
The
gave
vibe?
me yes, it kind of gave me that
Interesting.
vibe. You
Huh.
know, you know, what's the popular song? And the air outside. Da-da,
Yeah. Right.
everything,
Yeah.
everything. All I want is to feel this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I feel like Sommer could do that song over
That's
again.
interesting.
His own way, different type of beat, probably a
Yeah.
little more hip hop or whatever. But that's the group that automatically made me think of like, huh.
Interesting. Um, I could hear that actually. So I think that on this song, there is a couple of vocal stylings. I know this will sound crazy, that
Sure.
almost remind me of Prince.
Mm,
Um, I think there's a group, this is probably going back 10, 15 years. I'm not even sure they're still making stuff called Big Data, um, which if you pull up that album, it's a different, again, it's a vibe thing. It's not like he sounds like them, but to me, it has a similar vibe. And then there's this the cat who is what was his name? Aaron something or other from AWOL Nation. And so, the song Sail sounds nothing like this, but his first band was a group called Under the Influence of Giants. And they had the song called Mama's Room, which is a fantastic song, but
mm,
it's a little bit funky. Um, but like stylistically, it sort of reminds me of that kind of and it's interesting because when he talks about his influences, and again, people give him grief for this because they think he's trying to be he's a poser or something.
sure,
Because he's like, I love Jeff Buckley, and if I could be Jeff Buckley, and because of course,
sure.
and he said that listening to Radiohead's OK Computer was just transformative for him. And then everybody on the net is like, well, of course you're saying that because you're trying to be a cool hip guy, and it's like, okay, well, what what
He can't. I
again,
mean,
you can't win.
yeah, right. What did you want him to say? Like, if he had said that he was a fan of Nickelback, you'd kill
Right.
him too. So
Yeah.
it literally doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Um, in that interview, they were talking about like when he finally did become, known, and he had dropped out of high school to pursue this music thing, and I think he was talking about like the fame, the automatic amount of fame that was coming his way. And he's like, man, I'm so glad that I had 2 years, a couple of years before it hit like
Yeah.
that, I'm so glad that I
Yeah.
had time to kind of get a little bit older, a little bit more mature. And he's still young. He's still growing. But I like when young artists can be young artists.
Mhm.
I love if there's no rush for you to grow up. There's no rush at all. I'm very curious, again, to hear new songs from this cat, but I love when artists can just be young, dude. Just be young, just be you, and
And
let
let's not kill him for making kid
Mhm.
mistakes, because cause he's 20. There was, somebody had done a review. She said she went to the concert. She's 25, and she's like, "And I was surrounded by all these kids," and he was like, I'm 20. I just turned 20. It would stand to reason that most of my audience would be my age or younger.
Yeah,
And if you're 25 and you're 5 years older than me, I don't know why you're bent out of shape because I'm singing to a group of my peers. Like the whole thing was just like,
it's
what?
weird, dude.
It's super
It's so
weird.
it's so it's so weird and it's so unnecessary.
Yes.
Our as and I get it to a certain extent because everybody wants to those journalists, whether they're reviewing things, whatever, everybody they have to have a hot take. They have to
Yeah.
have a hot take. You're looking for the new hot take. And it's like, you could change that whole thing could have been said differently, and it would have made everybody feel more comfortable. You know, it's like, man, there is a vibe that he has connecting a strong connection with young people, and that is what we're seeing and witnessing. And isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a
Right?
good thing?
Like, isn't that what we all want is to
Is
connect with a group of our peers? Like,
right?
uh,
Is
what?
isn't that wonderful? Isn't that
Right.
great? You
Right.
know,
I don't know. It's crazy.
Like, what concert did you go to at age 20? Who were you looking at? Who are you screaming after?
And are you that different at 25 where you're like, you've got so much disdain for these kids?
Well, she was the wrong like, at 25, and if we're being honest, Joe, women, most, not all, but a lot of women date gentlemen that are older,
Sure.
right? So if she's 25, I mean, she's not looking at she's,
Not yeah, you're not
she
looking younger.
you're not she's definitely not looking younger. She's
Right.
definitely looking older. So she's looking at somebody 28, maybe 30 or
Yeah.
older for that matter.
Yeah.
So for her, if she hangs around those circles, like, yeah, that feels
Like
this whole
this
concert,
18-year-old next to me is not yeah.
and so there you have it, now 25-year-old dude would have said, man, this is heaven,
Yeah,
potentially.
right.
Kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Continue.
Well, what other advice? Give me one more parting shot. You know what? I'm going to lean in here. So he's got a basically no contact rule with exes, which I think at age 20 is 100% appropriate because you're not capable at that point.
Where'd you read that?
I don't know. It was one of his interviews where he
Huh.
was just like, I think that's part of the impetus for the song is, you know, and it is interesting because I feel like the song kind of takes two approaches. One, which is, hey, can we go back to being friends? And the other one, which is, you won't even look at me like I don't exist, even though we're in the same room and we have this shared history. So it feels like there's kind of two sides to a coin there.
Mhm.
Um, but so, I'll keep this brief, but, when I was a young pup, um, or a younger pup, and had mutually agreed to end a relationship, but we were like friends, and so much so that we decided to go to a speed dating event, um, together but separately. Right?
How the hell did this work out?
What do you think happened, Tobe?
Not good. Not good.
Because inevitably, even though you know all the reasons why a relationship doesn't work, and if you've got mutual respect and you're like, hey, we're never gonna be a thing, and that's okay, but I still like you as a human and you like me as a
Mm.
human.
Mhm.
And then you go to an event where you're like, well, none of these humans are doing it for me. Then all of a sudden this other human that you shouldn't be with, you can't be with, it's comfortable, right? And that's, if nothing else, that's part of the reason why you just kind of have to cut it off. Like, it's so that you are allowing yourself to heal, to move on, to give yourself the space to figure it out without this undue influence of the other stuff around you. And it's
Mhm.
okay. I think it's just hard because we're so wired for connection, and it's hard to find people that you can truly feel like are your people. Um, that you just want to glom onto that and hold on to whatever pieces parts you can, even if the sum of the parts is not ultimately what's gonna be, the best for you.
It's interesting you bring that up. So I'm reading um The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and and she talks about it in this thing here, kind of like jealousies. I'm assuming you saw her talking to other dudes, and like a part of that, and at the speed dating event, at least for me, would be she's talking to that guy, and I know I'm a better match than with her than
Well, that's
that other guy.
interesting. No, I mean, I'm sure that was in there somewhere. Yes.
Well,
I mean, this was a long
that
time
would be
ago.
me. Yeah.
100%.
I'll
But I
give
think
them.
the part was like at the end of the event, we were both like, let's just go get a beer. Right.
Mm,
Because we're like, I'd rather, none of this interests me. So let's just go hang out. And all you're doing is perpetual, or, you're just kind of keeping the cycle going. And it's like,
mhm.
why? Like mistakes were made. Right. Like,
Yeah, I mean, predictably so, right? You kind of you both put yourselves in that situation. Mel Robbins was saying, let them theory, hey, let it be what it is. We ended it, okay, and then the next part is let me, free myself to find something, different or better. And if there are any feelings of jealousy, let that fuel me to
mm,
find something
well, that's
different.
interesting.
See what I'm saying? So and I didn't learn that till, huh, way later. I was a young pup, and I was always get hung up on these relationships, and just hung up, and just with the soul, with the mindset that was so myopic, right?
Hmm.
Just like so focused on this one individual, like everything is about this person. And when there's a whole world out there, dude, and you are I isn't it interesting when we travel, right? If, you've been to some places, you've seen some things, let's say at the age of 30, you've seen some places, you've been on vacation, maybe you've gone to this park, that park, different states. But when you finally get out of the states and you actually see something completely different,
Hmm.
for me, that was like Mexico, right?
Hmm.
Or, for you, I know that you were in South Africa. With South
Yeah.
Africa, like within,
Yeah. Well,
within the last
Mauritius,
year.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
Mauritius, right? And
right
so,
next to Ray. Apparently,
and where's my husband?
if only I knew that she was there. Man,
So isn't it interesting though how your just mindset just changes once you are placed
perspective,
just
man.
like, oh my God, how big is this world? How many other places have I not seen? How many experiences have I not had? You know, that would be my advice to young Somber. Like, okay, keep traveling,
Yeah, keep learning
keep singing, keep learning, you know, not just about the craft, but, about yourself. I'm very curious and interested in hearing like how he grows up, you know.
for sure. Okay, so what else? Want to hear what else you're listening to right now, Tobe? Because
Hmm.
there's a few that I wanted to tee up. So, are you familiar with E.J. Jones at all? Because I am not.
No.
But he came up in my feed because we'd done that episode on Big X the Plug. So apparently he did a remix of his song Gas Station, which lyrically I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on here, but he's got a cool voice and I like the vibe. And finally it occurred to me, because this has been bugging me, like, well, who does Big X sound like? Heavy D. Like like his flow is so much like Heavy D to me,
Hmm.
especially in this song. And I had not made that connection. And then when I heard this, and I was like, ah, there it is.
That's
So,
interesting.
um, yeah. All right. The other one is Alice Merton's new album. So
Hmm.
good. There's a song on there called Boogeyman, which I just am loving. It's just got such a cool vibe, and I love that she's just going for like all of it. It's just she's not she's not holding back on much. Um, and then I finally got around to listening to Phineas and Ash did an album under the band name The Favors,
Hmm.
and man, I sent you that song, The Hudson. Whew, gorgeous. And here's the point I want to make about that, and I think this is circling back to Somber and what I would like to see him do. What they did intentionally for this album, Phineas and Ash, is they said, okay, we're gonna limit our instrumentation. We're gonna do guitar, piano, bass, drums, whatever. but then we're going to record the vocals live. And I think that capturing a time and space in a room, it's just, you can tell. And if you go back and you listen to a song or an album like, Rumors from Fleetwood Mac, part of the beauty and the like magnificence of that is they were all just in a room recording this stuff. And of course you're isolating, making sure that you're capturing each instrument, but the beauty is it's a moment in time. And I do believe that sonically,
Hmm.
that blending of voices and the capturing of the same space together and all of that, or instruments, it like you can hear it. You can definitely feel it, but I think sonically it also sounds different. And given that we've reached the point now where, I mean, Somber's a good case in point. You can make a gorgeous album in your bedroom with, GarageBand if you wanted to. But that like transcendent level of like, let's do this live and let's let our voices blend together, and whatever is going on in there, like it just elevates things so much that I would love to see that kind of be something that artists lean into more.
Yeah, that would be nice. Here's the yeah, I guess here would be the rub, I would say, for, well, no, I was gonna say that, mistakes that happen, I mean, that part sucks because, hey, if a vocalist missed a note, well, now what? Now we gotta do it all over again. I gotta make the drummer get up there and kinda do the whole thing over again. And what it might end up doing is make vocalists either come in like, hey, warmed up, super ready, like, hey, I'm there. We're just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Or it might make a vocalist or an instrumentalist less daring to do, the
Sure.
trickier
To take a
things,
shot. Yeah.
right? To take a shot. But at the same time, if, there are some things that happen on stage, those mistakes, those
Hmm.
whatever, it's there. It is what it is. In a live show, we just got to keep going. And in jazz, I know that's a big deal with like artists like Miles Davis or John Coltrane. You know, they have these sessions that were recorded where there are mistakes, but they just keep rolling and you hear them laughing in the background. And it just adds a level of authenticity. It's a different way to connect. And which I like. So I'm with it. I'm with it.
It's always fun to hear an artist go for something, miss it, and but you're like, oh, that's cool that I can see where they were headed. I can see what they were thinking. Um, so yes, um, and maybe it's not a full band, all in one take kind of thing.
Sure.
Maybe it's just the vocal. I mean, there's a reason why gospel choirs are so amazing. Is you've got all those voices blending together in one place at one time, and it's just so amazingly powerful. Um, so yeah. Anyway, that's just. So what are you listening to that I should be checking out?
Okay. Um, well, I will say this. I'm I actually did this in like reverse order, but Olivia Dean's her new album, love it. Very, very popular. It's the bomb.
It's still great.
It's fantastic. But I am actually listening to her previous album
Mm-hmm.
more now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like almost makes you fall in love with her all over
Oh,
again. Like this is stupid. Old Flame is one of the tracks that's just in my brain, just constantly like on repeat. Like how does she do it twice? Like how did you come up with such a fantastic collection of work this good twice? Just boom, like, and how am I just now catching on? Like, I'm mad at myself. So that's one.
I will say her. I think I've said this in a previous pod, but I will queue up that song "Echo" on a regular basis, and every time I hear it, it literally like there's something in there that gives me, I don't know, like it hits the E spot.
She's a she's a fantastic example of someone vocaling vocally styling her voice for songs and not having the most powerful voice, in the
Sure.
industry, not
Yeah.
doing a ton of the, runs and riffs that you can do, but stays in a pocket that has a very fantastic way of connecting with the listener. And I think that's rare. I love it. It's not, her voice isn't overproduced. It's the harmonies I think are great. I just love it. All right. Mac Ayres is a cat that I've been listening to for years. His name
Really?
is
Okay.
Mac Ayres. He's dope. He's really, really dope. Like him. There's a cat. His name is Eric Duncan. He was on he was on The Voice a couple
Okay.
seasons back, and I really like him too, man. His voice is like a gravelly, got a
Mm.
gravelly texture, but he is wonderful on his harmonies are just stupid. It is just, it's so dumb. Like his harmony, the way he does it. And because I'm a harmony guy. So if
You
he
are a
can
harmony
find all
guy.
the,
Yeah.
like, whoo. Now he's another cat that vocally styling, he has a way that he records. He has effects. I bet his vocal processor is just broken and stuck on this one setting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah,
that's it,
yeah.
you know? I'm also listening to a cat named Elmaine, or Elmine. Um, I he's really, really talented, very, very dope. He's got a song called "Reclusive" that I enjoy, and of course, a little bit of Alan Stone.
Mhm.
There's a new artist, well, somewhat newer artist. Her name is Genevieve, and she has a song called, or an album called Chrysalis, and this is like the first track on the album, and I can't stop listening to it. It is, it's so weird. It's so different. Weird, but in a good way. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, like I would never have written that to
Like
this.
me. Like weird in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like us, right?
I
you
wasn't
know,
gonna put that on you, Toby.
fun size. No, no. I would say family size weirdness, right? So
We are not fun size.
we are not fun
We
size.
are
We are
family
family
size.
size weirdness.
We are a Costco
Yeah,
brand.
we are Costco, Costco size weird. Um, yeah, man, this song, it's got a very hip hop vibe to it. The Chrysalis does. That song has a very hip hop vibe to it, but it is her harmonies are great. And she's got a couple other tracks on that album too. So, and then of course uh, Leon Thomas
Sure.
and Leon Bridges. Those are like
Staples.
your staples, man. Your staples. So yeah, those are. It's going to be a good year for a good year for music. Ella Langley's coming out with an album here pretty soon.
Yeah, I heard the new single. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it, Choosing Texas, and what's the other one? The one with about the wind.
Mm,
I listen to those almost every day now. And
nice.
almost every day I listen to those. So yeah, I think it's I'm very thankful for this show kind of expanding my
Absolutely.
musical talent palette. Can't tell you how many people I talk to right now. When you ask them what they're listening to, they it's the same thing. It'll be the same thing 3 months from now. It'll be the same thing 6 months from now. You know, we have to, people, listen, go to a new restaurant. Just try it
Right.
out. Just go to a new
Right.
restaurant.
Right.
And if you go to it, order something that you wouldn't normally get. Don't get the burger again. Not again. Go for the noodles. Do
I
something.
fully agree. And I'm I think part of it is we are in such a state of chaos and unrest globally
Mm.
that people are just looking for comfort, and
Oh,
comfort is
totally.
familiarity. I didn't read it, but I saw a headline that said that people are being nostalgic about like the year of 2016.
Mm.
And I could see how it's pre-pandemic, it's pre lots of things, right? So, um, I don't know. I'd have to think about. I haven't where I was in 2016. Actually, I think that was pretty. That yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but it's sad that we're like, oh, let's go back a decade
Hmm.
and see where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. It is sad. We do have a lot. There's a lot going on, and I can totally see people wanting to be comforted by something that is familiar. What I don't want to see though is us, you know, familiarity um, doesn't produce growth, and I think the only way we're going to get growth is by being uncomfortable in places.
What
At
is it?
times,
Is that a phrase? Familiarity breeds contempt. Am I making that up, or is that a thing?
I don't know. I have to look that up. Familiarity breeds contempt.
Feel like I've heard that, which
Might be a Joeism.
it's possible. I hope not, because that's pretty loaded.
Well, it has the word breeds in it, so that is it's already loaded, in my opinion. It's already a loaded. Um, let's see, who says that?
I think it's just the idea that, like, if you think about a marriage, there anybody you've talked to who's been married for any length of time, decades, they will say that there are periods in that where you just don't like the person. You're just tired of their stuff. You're growing apart. You're all of that. So, contempt is a strong word, but you're so familiar that you're just kind of off put by that familiarity.
Mm,
So
it Geoffrey Chaucer.
good old Chaucer. Yes. Okay.
He's the one who said that.
All right.
Interesting. Yeah,
So not a Joeism. Whew.
not a Joeism.
I'll take that one off my guilt
Well, you
plate.
can make it yours by saying familiarity, kinda breeds, contempt in that. Now it's a choice. Now it's just choice. One word. Sometimes it's just that one word, man. Just makes all the difference.
Yeah. It's like Vanilla Ice taking the Queen song, no, I changed it. It was like bump, bump, bump.
Hey,
Yeah, and
if
that
we
was
ever,
mine.
if NBA team like the Cavs actually, called us up and, hey, Joe, Toby, we need you to play on the team. And somehow miraculously, we won the championship. We could take the mic and say, instead of, hey, Cleveland, this is for you, we would say, Cleveland, this is for y'all. And that would, that would make, that
It's
would
ours.
change. It's
That's
ours. Now.
That means we won the championship. Done. And with that, I think we're out, Toe. We could basically just stake our claim to
Hey, Riff
all the
Nation,
things.
this is for y'all. This is this is for y'all.
Perfect.
You heard it here first.
Also, because I'm sure somebody's gonna, get me for this. I get it. It wasn't Queen. It was just Freddie Mercury and David Bowie under pressure. Don't yell at me. Don't come at me, bro.
Don't come for me. All right. Well, hey, Riff Nation, hope you had a good time listening to us today discuss this song and all the all of our
Meanderings.
opinions. Yeah, all the riffing that we did on this.
And we haven't decided yet, but
Mm.
Toby and I are hoping to come out with a Valentine's Day cover. Toby wanted to go all Boys to Men, which is great, but it's not really a Valentine's song.
Yeah. True.
But maybe we should just cover that anyway, like later in the maybe.
Yeah, we can cover it anyway. Exactly. We'll do. But we'll do something. That's the plan, is to do a song here for Valentine's Day. So be on the lookout for that. You guys, you can catch us on Spotify, all of the podcast places. You can go to Riffs on riffs.com if you want to, check our online, content. But really, it's really all about YouTube. I think YouTube is where you can catch the actual video of us.
And Spotify, you can watch video too.
Yeah, very true.
But if you're one that prefers just the audio, you've got both options within Spotify. If you want to see our smiling faces, you can do it in Spotify or on YouTube. And if you just want to hear Toby's golden pipes, then just open up your old Apple Podcasts and stream away.
Yep, please do.
And please leave reviews, because it's been a minute since, even if you're a long-time listener, first-time caller, please just go in, leave a comment, give us all the stars, and help us find other listeners.
Please do. Please do. Keep listening. Huzzah.